Hey guys, welcome to another reading vlog. So the theme of this vlog today is gonna be novellas. I have quite a few stacking up at the moment and I'm like, I need to get through some of these. One of these is a sequel. One of these is the first in a series of novellas. Another I'm actually not sure is technically qualifies as a novella, and yeah, but I figured it's got a bunch of little shorties here that I can blast through, and I figured it'd be fun to document the experience. So first up we have A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. This is a sequel to Psalm for the Wild Built that came out last year, and it was this really cute novella that follows a tea monk and a robot, and it's just a really cute, heartwarming story. They go around helping people and helping themselves and kind of figuring out, like, you know, is the life they're living worth living, and what is their purpose in life. And it's just like, it's comfort sci-fi and I love it, and it's a really short read. This one is 149 pages. I'm just really excited to get to it. I think it's gonna be really cute, cozy vibes. Next up we have A Spindle Splintered by Alex E. Harrow. This is the first in, it's at least a duology. I don't know if it's gonna be like more than that. The second book, A Mirror Mended, just came out, and they're like twisted fairy tales. So I know this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, but beyond that I don't know a whole lot. I'm hoping it's cute and fun. I have started the 10,000 Doors of January by Alex E. Harrow, and I really like their writing style. I think it's charming and whimsical and a little bit funny, even while dealing with like serious issues. I feel really absorbed in their writing, so I'm very excited to get to this one as well. Now, especially now that I know that like I do in fact like this author. I've also started collecting the new editions of Neil Gaiman's books, and he's got quite a few short ones, so I want to get to one of these. I'm feeling at the moment The Ocean at the End of the Lane. I literally know nothing about this book other than that it is extremely popular. A lot of people really love this one. If they've read and loved any Gaiman, it's this one. The back mentions a person returning to their childhood home to attend a funeral. They're drawn back to a place once alive with monsters and magic, to a past where the impossible is all too frighteningly real. Kind of vague, but obviously giving fantasy, kind of maybe spooky vibes as well, where there's like a funeral involved. And yeah, I can't wait to read this one and see what all the hype is about. This one's also quite short, 175 pages with the acknowledgements, so thinking I'll be able to blast through this as well. This is the one that I'm like, is this technically a novella? It's a little long if it is. In any case, it's a short book that I think I'll be able to get to or get through quite quickly. This one looks to be 243, including the author's note, so definitely the longest of these books, but like I said, I think it'll still be a quick read. I've heard this is excellent and funny and just fantastic, so I think for that reason I'll be able to get through it pretty quickly. I'm so hyped for this, very, very excited. I've heard amazing things. This is a book that I personally have been anticipating for a while. Look at the hardcover stamp, oh my god. Like, ever since I saw this on NetGalley, I was like, that looks amazing. It's another sort of fairy tale. It's not a retelling, I don't think, but it's definitely inspired heavily by fairy tales. We follow a princess who's trying to save her sister, who's been married off to a really cruel king, and she gets the help of I believe like a retired knight, or like a knight past their prime, a witch, there's a chicken that is possessed by a demon. All these things just like check my boxes. I'm so excited to read this, and this will be my first T. Kingfisher book, which is really exciting because they're an author that I've been wanting to check out for so long. I've also gotten the Hollow Places by them recently. I need to check that one out as well, so very excited for these. Hoping to blast through all of these in this little vlog. We shall see, but I will update you kind of as I finish them, I think. So not sure which one is first up. I haven't decided, but I'll let you know my thoughts later. Okay, I think I'm gonna start with A Spindle Splintered. I'm in the mood for like fairy tale vibes, and I'm also reading the 10,000 Doors of January, and I'm really liking Alex E. Harrow's writing, so I kind of want to read more of their stuff, and I think this is the shortest of the bunch, so I feel like if I can get this done pretty fast, like tonight, I'll feel like really good about my momentum. Not that I want to speed through it, but you know, if I'm doing a novella marathon, might as well start off feeling strong. So yeah, this one looks like it's 119 pages, which does make this the shortest one. So I'm gonna start with this and hopefully knock it out, you know, pretty quickly. We'll see how it goes. finished Spindle Splintered, so I figured it was time to update you. This was a pretty fast read. Definitely tonally very different from the 10,000 Doors of January, even though it's the same author. We follow a much more modern storyline in this one where a girl named Zinnia, who just had her 21st birthday, unfortunately has a terminal illness that pretty much means she won't make it to her 22nd birthday. And she has kind of grown up pretty fixated on the Sleeping Beauty story because it resonates with her, you know, a cursed girl who won't live past, 21 or whatever. And, so she majors in folklore in college and whatnot. And she ends up sort of accidentally traveling on her 21st birthday to another dimension where there's like a more literal Sleeping Beauty figure. And so she's trying to save her as well as herself, and it was a fun adventure. I will say, definitely trigger warning for terminal illness. That's something that the main character is dealing with, and it's very central to the story. So if that's something that is sensitive for you, I would maybe skip out on this one. There was a moment towards the end where I definitely was tearing up, so it's a little heavy, but it's kind of fun having that like modern perspective in a fairy tale setting. It feels a bit like a portal fantasy, and it was cute. I had a good time. I definitely want to pick up the second one, A Mirror Mended. I'm trying to wait to see if I can get a good deal on that one. It was on Book Outlet recently for like $6, but I missed it, so I'm probably gonna wait until I find it on sale, just because like I don't love spending $20 on Novellas where there's such fast reads. But I did really enjoy this one. Probably like a 4-star read. On to the next one. Okay, I think I'm gonna do The Ocean at the End of the Lane next. It's a little bit longer than a Spindle Splintered. I think this is 250-ish pages. Oh, I'm sorry, 171. Amazon lied to me. It said it was like 259. But yeah, okay, maybe it will be a kind of quick read as well. I don't expect to get this one done tonight, though. It is 11 o'clock, and I am a baby who needs to go to bed before 1 a.m. typically. So I'm going to start this and get as far as I can. I'm really excited for this one. This one has a lot of hype, so we'll see how it goes. I am literally 10 pages into this book, and it is bumming me the fuck out. Oh my god. I like how no one warned me that this book is a giant bummer. I definitely went to bed feeling like a little melancholy yesterday after reading this. It's fine, a sad book every now and then isn't bad. I just wasn't expecting it because like I knew very little about this book going in, other than it's supposed to be one of Gaiman's best. So I am liking it so far, but even like the first 10 pages, I was just like, it was a lot. Now that I kind of know what to expect, hopefully it won't be quite as depressing or shocking, but we shall see. Sorry, I'm traumatized. Oh my god. Okay, minor spoiler alert. There's a scene in which the main character, digs like a worm out of his foot, and it's a supernatural worm that is burrowed into his foot, and he has to use tweezers to pull it out, and I am traumatized. I'm not even usually particularly squeamish about bugs, but that was fucking disgusting. Neil Gaiman, what the hell? I just finished The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This book was a trip and a half. This book starts off really sad. We follow a 7-year-old who is going through a really rough time, and it bummed me out a lot. As the mystery kind of unfolds, it gets less sad, but you're all like,
you don't know what the hell is happening, and you like have to be okay with that. But overall, this was a fun journey. It was really interesting. It's been a very long time since I've read a Neil Gaiman book, so it was fun to like dive back in. That's 2 books down. Feeling good. Feeling good. 2 books to go.
Hello. I've been kind of bad about vlogging, I'm sorry. It's easier on the weekends, but once my week starts, it gets a little busy and I lose track of, did I talk about this book yet? Have I filmed enough B-roll? So, it is Tuesday night. Last time I think I gave you like a face-to-face update, I had just finished The Ocean at the End of the Lane. This book fucked me up. Honestly, I knew so little about this book going into it, other than that, like, you know, a middle-aged man is returning to a mysterious place from their childhood. And oh boy, the first 20 pages of this book bummed me out so hard. I like spiraled a little bit. And it was like the last thing I did before going to bed on Sunday night, and I just felt like I was just like kind of having a mini existential crisis. But overall, this was really good. It was very effective, especially. Neil Gaiman has a very like frank way of delivering information, and sometimes it is so shocking, but it's punchy, you know, it punches you in the gut. It makes you feel like like you've been physically affected by this thing happening. So I thought in that regard this was an extremely effective book. I don't really want to say too much about this other than maybe before you pick it up, be aware there is death of a pet, child abuse, and frankly frightening things. If you're sensitive to bugs especially, there's a particularly gross scene. So this book is not a light read by any means, despite the length. I thought this would be like a really quick little, you know, romp. But this hit me hard, and it was good. And I'm still thinking about it a couple days later. I'm really glad I chose to read these in the order that I did, though, because after that, I definitely needed A Prayer for the Crown Shy by Becky Chambers. I literally finished this minutes ago, and I'm left feeling so warm and fuzzy. It's like the exact opposite feeling that The Ocean at the End of the Lane gave me. This is the second book in the Monk and Robot series. The robot Mosscap is one of my favorite characters I think that I've read in a book this year. It was also in the first book, but it really featured a lot more heavily in this book, and just like its personality and behavior and like the way it views the world with such awe is so cute. It's one of my favorite like kind of character tropes, like when there's a fish out of water kind of and they're experiencing everyday things for the first time, and as the reader you get to see it like in a different light, and it's just so cute and wholesome. I love the relationship between Mosscap and our monk Dex. They're just so wholesome, and they ride around their little moon world, and just reading about this society too is also just like, I want to live here. It's not without its problems, but I think they've got some things figured out a lot better than we do. So that is now 3 books down. The last book I have is the longest, and that is Nettle and Bone. This is a good 250-ish pages. I believe I've said it before, not quite a novella, but it is a short book. So I've heard great things. I'm hoping it's a fast read, and I'll try to vlog a little bit more so there's something actually interesting to watch in this video. But this one is up next, and I'm very excited about it, so I will check in with my thoughts later. Hello. Once again, I come to you apologizing for the lack of B-roll and quality vlogging. This week kind of got away from me, but I did finally finish Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, and I loved it. This is my first T. Kingfisher book, and it's everything I hoped it would be and more. It has a lot of elements that I really love in a fantasy book. And I don't want to say too much, you know, in fear of spoiling it, but this was just so fun. You know, we have familiar things, but they're kind of turned on their head, and it's just great. This book has been getting a lot of buzz, but to sort of sum it up, if you haven't heard about it, this follows a woman named Mara, and she is the third daughter in a kingdom that is sort of mostly of little consequence, other than that they have a harbor that two other big kingdoms would literally go to war over. So the eldest daughter, her oldest sister, gets married off to the prince of the northern kingdom, and like dies mysteriously a few weeks later. Then her second sister gets married off, and Mara gets sent to a convent, and she doesn't really think about how her sister's doing. They weren't very close, but while attending the birth and christening of her niece, like 10 years later, she discovers that her sister is being abused by her husband, the prince. And Mara is not okay with this. She didn't even think that like, there's a quote from the book that's something along the lines of like, the biggest weakness to being good is not even conceiving of the evil that other people are capable of. It was something she didn't even know she had to be worried about. And now she's like, well, gotta kill this guy, I guess, and free my sister. And she sort of gathers a rather motley crew of support. It feels a little bit like a D&D quest almost. There's a old lady necromancer with a chicken that may have a demon inside. There's a disgraced soldier. There's a sort of rather unassuming, kind of mediocre godmother. There's a very endearing animal companion named Bone Dog. And I don't know, it has all the whimsy of a fairy tale and like kind of nods to known fairy tales like Cinderella or Rumpelstiltskin or Sleeping Beauty, but it's not like a retelling. It's definitely its own thing, and I just loved the world that T. Kingfisher created for this book. I want like a whole series of books just following these characters. They're just so charming, and I loved it so much. And I'm rambling on about this book more than I have any other book in this vlog. I read some bangers this week. I'm not mad. I love a good novella. It can really break up sort of your reading and get you out of a slump, or just like if you need something a little different than what you have been picking up, it's a great way to kind of just like freshen up what you're reading. And I just have so much fun with them, especially fantasy novellas. Like, they're just so punchy, and I love fantasy, but one of the downsides of the genre is that they're usually several books long with a lot of world building, and sometimes you just want to be like in and out, go on a little fantasy adventure, and then like go about your day. And actually, looking at these now, I did not have a single book below a 4-star read this week, which I think is fabulous. Actually, I think my first two were 4 stars and my second two were 5 stars. And to have 2 novellas back to back 5-star reads, gotta love it. I really liked Spindle Splintered, and I'm really curious to see where the series goes. I'm getting to know Alex E. Harrow's writing a little bit better, and this was a fun divergence from sort of the historical fiction style of the 10,000 Doors of January, but she still has really just engaging and interesting writing. Ocean at the End of the Lane was my first Neil Gaiman in literally years. I can't remember. I think Good Omens was the last book I read by him, and that was obviously co-authored with Terry Pratchett. So it was strange getting back into some of his darker stuff, and man, this was dark. I mentioned this earlier in the video, but this definitely like put me in a mild depression for like a day and a half. It was a bit of a bummer, but it was like very magical realism, if that's your thing, but definitely on the sadder side, so just be aware. But yeah, I gave both of these 4 stars. And then, as you know, Prayer for the Crown Shy. I love Becky Chambers. I really need to read her Wayfarer series. This is the perfect, soft, cozy sci-fi, and I think if you're looking to get into the genre, this is a great place to start, or this series at least. This is the second book. Please don't start here. It is just lovely, and I've been thinking about this book literally since I read it, just days now. I think about Mosscap and how much it delights me, and oh my gosh, I like already want to reread this kind of. And then Nettle and Bone, again, was like dark, whimsical fairy tale, and I loved it. I loved Mara. Oh my god, Fenris, the disgraced knight soldier. I love him. He's my new book boyfriend, I've decided. Everything about this book was like my favorite thing in fantasy fiction, like ever. So yeah, man, that is like the best I have done picking books for vlogs recently. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I get really excited about a book and then I'm like disappointed that I'm not enjoying it as much as I expected to. And I enjoyed pretty much all of these exactly as much as I expected to, which is a great feeling, especially 4 times in a row. Talk about a serotonin boost, wow. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for joining me on my little novella readathon, novella palooza. I don't really have a catchy way to say that, but I want to do more of these. I love novellas. I'm slowly learning that about myself. God, they're fun. So if you have any good recommendations for me, please let me know. I have a couple kind of hanging around, but these ones were the ones that I own currently that I was the most excited to get to, so I need some fresh recs. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know about what you're reading, and yeah, have a lovely day. Bye!